Quick, don't think. You've just been conscripted. Here's a trusty lad's gun, a gas mask, and a bloody hive tyrant. If you are the type of Sigma male to live in this scenario with passive income and autism, then you. Living is an insult to Krieg and its people, so go out there and right your wrongs, life cuck. That's right, welcome to the best and worst part of your life. You're a veteran in the military with a 93% mortality rate on first deployment, and that's just the elite, brother. This kit comes with Krieg men, Krieg women, and Krieg they're dead, oh my god. And because of that, I will proceed with this video with the assumption that they are all fielded as such. So sorry, Cadia cucks, the Kriegers win the girl in this story. The Death Korp of Krieg sees their life as an illness and their military as the healthcare system. Every deployment is your next chance to die, and if you live, it will be because coffee is a drug that works wonders. Strap yourself in, bucko, because we asked 100 of Krieg's people what they would do for the Emperor, and what did they say?
Yeah, I'd like to solve the puzzle.
Alright, go ahead.
Hell, World War I was a hell of a time. Right, friends? You, as a veteran guardsman, have to agree with this sentiment, as your two faction abilities simulate trench foot and complete disregard for life. Ancillary support gives you two pills, artillery or more bodies. Both of these will allow you to overwhelm your opponent either by lead or by depression. The Trooper Veterans grant you an additional 4 troopers and is possibly the shortest sentence a Games Workshop employee has ever written in their life. This guarantees your ability to just swarm the enemy enough to make a Tyranid froth at the mouth, or you can even just keep them in the back lines as objective monkeys while your heavy hitters seek
vengeance against the Dark Lords who had wronged him.
From my knowledge of Kill Team, which is definitely, a bit, this is the most numbers you can have at a time, and honestly is a massive benefit to your game plan, which is why I have to ask why the fuck you need 2 boxes of units to be able to do this. GW, what the fuck?
This is not how this was supposed to go! No!
But hey, Andrew, what if you just want to smell victory and shell opponents into sweet, sweet oblivion? Introducing Tactical Assets, an option that opens up the beautiful world of artillery. You have the choices of an artillery barrage, marked airstrike, and guided missile. I refuse to consider Strafrun an option as its only accessible use is as a weapon against my fucking brain. Shit is so complicated I can list it as an SCP. These artillery strikes can be performed as your weapon for a shoot action with their respective stats and effect. They all of course have their uses. Artillery strike for any group of enemies hiding from you, marked strike is for more open engagement, and guided missile is a big button that says fuck this one guy in particular.
Huh?
Strafe Run is probably used for something, I don't fucking know, but you can only take 2 of these 4 into battle and they can only be used once per turning point. This does make it so you have to be a bit more cautious when you use them, but usually I know exactly where they're going when the match starts. These 2 options are both very swaggy and get a thumbs up from me. I often find myself using both options depending on my matchup, but mostly it's the 4 extra bodies because it's both fun and it's a funny option. The artillery works the amazing wonder of making sure your enemy will not have a body to bury, and even the threat of the big delete is enough to make your opponent be cautious of getting in the way of your 10 men with death wishes. Luckily, there's no way they'll catch up. What's this?
Telegram from the Kremlin. The Central Committee. It says,
Brother Maynard, bring up the holy hand grenade.
1, 2, 3.
Much like the hit game Amogus, the loudest and most aggressive lead the charge and give the orders. This is done via Guardsman Orders, a set of commands that affect the soldiers surrounding your leader and commsmen. How anyone knows what the fuck is being said is beyond me, as I can only reasonably imagine what comes out as. They come in many flavors, such as running, shooting, standing, and
how it feels to chew 5 gum.
These abilities help keep up the same high pressure environment as looking my father in the eyes. Using the right ones at the right time will result in glorious victory, otherwise you will face a horrible death, still achieving glorious victory. With tactical ploys, it is possible to use 2 of these in one turning point, but never stack them. This allows you to combo running really fast and stabbing, or running really fast and shooting, or running really fast and standing. God, I fucking love running. All my homies love running. But you may want to synergize even further, as you might be able to count even higher than 2. That brings me to the next section. Hey, lasers are pretty hot, but what if they were hotter? By the will of the Omnisire, make it so and overcharge those lasguns, you cretins. It's your opponent's armor with the power of breaking your gun until it shoots harder. Just make sure you not to do it too much, or you might make like a tree and fucking evaporate. AP1 isn't something to scoff at normally, but with this many fellas on the field, it's more like AP fucking 20. Alternatively, you can choose to make the enemy blind for a turning point when you take cover. Lore-wise, I have no idea if your guardsmen just realize what the fuck a left shift key does, or if the enemy loses IQ rapidly, but God blessed America does it work wonders. Huh? Do you know what a shovel is? Do I need to get into your mind, or will I let one of my homies give you a practical lesson in the field of study known as fucking murder? The proud people of Krieg prided themselves on suicidal bayonet charges, but when the shovel comes out, so does the fucking boss music. There may be no rules or text stating that these guys actually use a shovel, but sorry James Workshop, I'm playing the lore-accurate version of these caffeine crab-eating macaques. I bet you liked that one, didn't you? And finally, the creme de la creme, we have Into the Breach, because life is valuable and we have a gambling addiction. 1 free charge will get you that bit closer to the end of an enemy's barrel and puts them that bit closer within coming distance. This ploy should always be used at the start of a battle, and by should, I mean...
If you have a complaint,
I will kill your wife.
Any refusal to cooperate will have your femur privileges revoked and your family plan removed. If you thought we had a lot of fun and creative stuff, wait until you hear the spectacular,
molecular,
vernacular,
Testacular.
testicles, balls, nuts, hornies, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnsons.
With the threat and reward of death, your leader is quite the charismatic fellow. Now, instead of speaking once, he will speak twice and give a second order, but it has to be a different one to the original, as they cannot stack. In death, atonement allows you to ascend mental illness, as you cannot be suicidal if you're already dead. These people of Krieg have succeeded and cannot be stopped until the end of the turning point, allowing them to awaken their free will. Not dying is the most non-Krieg thing there is, so much so that it turns full circle and becomes fucking gospel. Shooting an enemy once can have great effects, but shooting twice brings exponential returns. Double tapping truly works wonders in a game where surviving 2 shoot attacks is unheard of for a model with a base size smaller than 40mm. All the ploys of this kill team are some of the best in the game, both thematically and in gameplay, and most importantly has the flavour I strive for. However, we're not done yet, as Flavor Town is our next stop, with the... The Krieg tactical operations are the last nail in the coffin for the corpse who dares approach you. Most of them entail winning, but harder, as they reward you for being ahead of the curve and being a prick to your opponent. If you plan for full board control, then boots on the ground is the operation for you. Stack those bodies side by side worse than a Travis and make sure your enemy has no chance to breed. Why we're awarding extra points for cowards, I have no idea. Or we can go with Stand Fast, which turns winning into even more winning. Already have more objectives and most probably winning more points. Good job, sucker, here's some more. You will usually take this if you want your opponent to scream harder than a Dead by Daylight player who gets mildly inconvenienced. And finally, the holy grail of the tactical operations, the shining light for all of Krieg's people, glory in death. Ahead of the curb? Quit while you're ahead. Cut your losses. Die! Need I remind you that there's no rules against shooting against your own people? These stack ops create the basis for a player not only playing like Krieg, but also playing with the intent of a Krieg person tingy.
Huh?
Krieg is a state that prides itself on doing perfectly standard 50 times over, and this is shown through your lasgun, which will most likely tickle most of your enemies to death. 2 damage is not a lot, but we're working with multiplication tables here, fucker. Other operators would find themselves in the lucky position to be armed better than the average Krieger, but keep in mind that only the plasma and las guns carry a chance of blowing up in your hands, so don't take anything else. You do also have the option of frack and crack grenades to help perform your heinous acts of prejudice against the enemy's legs. Hotshot capacitors allow for some minor modifications to your weapon to up its tickle factor. In terms of handy equipment, we have the shovel and the hand axe, which are terms I use interchangeably. Rosary has you become one with the Force, and these 2 fuckers alter the pregame setup to make sure you start off a step ahead of your opponent. Sorry, I meant stampede ahead.
FBI, open up!
Your kill team is led by a sergeant who got his position by proxy of being the longest one to serve at 3 days. This grants him access to a wider arsenal of weapons, but rule of thumb is that all leaders get chainswords as God intended. He has his trusty confidant who can nominate himself as leader in the unlikely case that something happens to your leader. The gunner veteran can take a flamethrower, and that's all you need to know. Take any other option and you're an official bitch. A bitch with 3 crack grenades. The demolition expert revolutionized the idea of the car bomb by placing it outside of the car and in front of your opponent. I think that the best part is that the mine has the silent keyword. What does reading do to a motherfucker? It makes his bullets hit harder. He just has to see them. Nothing is being more grimdark than the one unlucky fucker in this group of suicidal maniacs with the job of keeping them all alive, and once again these are veterans, so this guy knows what he is doing. Being able to bring dudes back from the dead has the added bonus of being able to atone for your sins twice. The Bruiser's job is to run up to the enemies and tank punches to the face while bonking Slanesh demons with Kellogg's trademark no horny stick. The hardened veteran just worships Nurgle. I'll have none of it. The spotter exists as a living buff to a nearby friendly. Considering his main ability uses all of his AP and just lets his teammate take his turn, he would be pretty much an unnecessary addition. Were it not for the fucking mortar barrage. That's the Veteran Guardsmen for you. Again, they don't have to be run as Krieg, but I do like to think of them as Krieg, as that's what it is on the box, and that's the only way you're going to get their models, unless you want to spend a fortune on Forge World Infantry. I hope you found this video helpful, and always keep up to date with the FAQs and any updates that come out. James Workshop does do quarterly rules updates, so your favorite team might be getting buffed or nerfed, so do check that out because it can be changed. With that said, if you have any other questions, leave them in the comments below and someone will get to them. I probably won't. I'm very bad at that. I'm going to be honest. But hey, we're getting somewhere. Thanks for watching the video. If you haven't seen my previous one, go watch it. It's on Hyrotech Circle. Very good video. It's only like from 2 months ago, but I already cringed at it, so you know I'm developing as a person at least. So, once again, thank you for watching the video, and see ya.